Hello everyone, if you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new, then nice to meet you, I'm Hannah. I make videos about bullet journaling, vintage inspired fashion and studying abroad, and I'd love it if you subscribed. Last semester, my mum moved house, and since I was away at university, I haven't been able to sort things out until now. The rest of the house is looking lovely, but my space and my belongings are... yikes. I wanted to see if I could make the KonMari Method of Tidying work for me. So I hope you enjoy this series of me exploring the life-changing magic of tidying up. Welcome to this final video in my series of the KonMari Method of Tidying. If you haven't seen the rest of this series of videos, then I will leave a link in the description to a playlist I've made with all the other videos so that you can see how I fared and also see some satisfying shots of my belongings after being organised. So, I completed the KonMari Method of Tidying on my bedroom in 2 weeks. I emptied 14 storage boxes and I estimate that I donated about 8 bags full of things to charity shops. I knew that my mum was going to be moving over Christmas, so I was packing things up then so that they didn't become my mum's problem while I was off at uni. And yeah, I got rid of some stuff at that point as well, so I was very surprised by the quantity of things that I owned and the quantity of things that I had that I didn't mind about getting rid of. I think that the focus of the KonMari method being on what sparks joy is what made the difference there though, because I think previously I was keeping things out of obligation and not because they genuinely made me happy. As well as the KonMari method, I also incorporated advice from the YouTube channel Clutterbug. So from taking their quiz, I determined that I am a B type of organisation person, and that means that I'm more likely to lean towards visual organising systems and really detailed organising systems as well. So I kept that in mind throughout my organising, and you can see, especially with things like my stationery and art supplies and stuff, that having something that was visual and hyper organised was really important for me. If you're currently organising your home and your belongings, then I'd really advise checking out Clutterbug's channel because there's a lot of really helpful advice about sustainable organisation on there. I did speak in episodes 5 and 6 about reaching a bit of a slump in the process. That was in the middle of the kimono section, which basically just includes every single item that doesn't fall under the other categories. I felt really disappointed with how I was feeling at that point because I'd started with so much enthusiasm and so much energy, and then to just have that sort of dwindle and have me be like, I don't feel like I can be bothered doing this anymore, it was sort of heartbreaking. However, I'm in the KonMari community on Reddit and I posted on there about feeling really negative about it, and a lot of people shared some really useful advice and a lot of support, and it was really valuable to me for continuing with my progress. So I'd really recommend joining online communities so that if you hit a similar situation, there's someone out there who's experienced the same and is able to offer you support and advice. What helped me a lot to get over that little slump was taking all of the things that I was donating to charity and putting them downstairs ready to be donated the next day. And I also took the time to put everything into rubbish bins if it was rubbish and recycling bins if it was recyclable, and that just meant that I could see the progress that I'd made and I was getting rid of all of the things that I was decluttering and taking them out of the space completely. I would really advise doing that as well because it's so hard to see your progress when you've got things like that just taking up space that you don't have. So once I had managed to get all of that stuff completely out of the way, it really sparked something in me that I was like, wow, I've come so far, I've done so much, and now I really want to see what else I can accomplish and what else I can do with this. So that really helped me to just keep going. At that time, I also went back to the notes that I'd made on why I started the process in the first place, and that was also really inspiring and really motivating for carrying on and completing the method. Also, knowing that this video series would finish halfway through and that people would know that I'd failed was a really big motivator for me as well. I wanted to be able to say to you, as I am right now, I finished, I did it. If you are wanting to do the KonMari method of tidying, I can really recommend it. At times it is tedious and it is overwhelming, but it's also incredibly effective. I have never been a particularly tidy person, but you look at my space now and you wouldn't know that because everything's so completely organised. I know where everything is, everything has its home, everything's in its home, and it's really sustainable. Now that I've set up where everything goes, it's really easy to just put everything back where it goes. The main pieces of advice that I can give you if you want to do this are to definitely follow Marie's advice of writing down why exactly you want to do this, because if, like me, you hit a bit of a bump in the road and you're like, I don't really know if I want to continue with this anymore, it can be really inspiring to look back on why you started in the first place. Get the things that you're discarding out of the space as soon as you can. Whether you're donating them, selling them, recycling them, or they're rubbish, just get them out of there as soon as you can. Because if you let them pile up, it really clouds your perspective of how far you've come and all the hard work that you've been doing. The final piece of advice that I would give would be to follow the order, because so many people stray from the order that Marie Kondo has perfected. She suggests that order for a reason. It's the most logical order to work in because it's the easiest thing to go through clothing and stuff, because you know what you enjoy wearing and you know what makes you happy in terms of style and fit and things like that. If you were to just launch into sentimental items right at the very beginning, you might end up getting rid of something that actually you shouldn't have, and you should have kept hold of that, and then you'll feel disheartened and regretful and you won't want to continue. So just start out with clothing, then move on to books, then sit and do your paperwork, then do miscellaneous items and finish with the sentimental stuff. My absolute favourite thing about having completed the KonMari method of tidying is that now I know that every single item in this room makes me happy. Every single thing. Nothing in here is unnecessary or unwanted, and I also know exactly where everything is. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this series. I've certainly enjoyed creating it. If you have enjoyed it and would like to see more of my content, then I make vintage inspired fashion videos, as well as bullet journaling videos and videos about studying abroad. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. I upload every Wednesday and every Sunday, so hopefully I'll see you there. If you have completed the KonMari method, what advice would you give to people? And if you haven't done the KonMari method, is it something that you'd ever consider doing? Is it something you want to do? Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day and goodbye.